Hi, I'm Simon from the Red Ferret and pretty special package today. This is the Kodak Pixpro AZ901 digital camera. So this is not the regular DSLR where you can change lenses and stuff. This is a fixed lens, but it has 90 times zoom. 90 times optical zoom. You can see that over here, 90 times optical zoom, 22mm wide angle lens. It has a 20 megapixels by ISO CMOS sensor, 3-inch LCD screen on the back, which is also flippable, so you can see yourself if you're shooting in selfie mode or something. Optical image stabilization as well, of course. Panoramic capture, full HD, so 1080p at 30 frames per second filming, very nice. And built-in Wi-Fi as well. So we have a quick start guide, of course, where everything is in you need to know. Your warranty card as well, and then a CD drive. We even use a CD. So we have a strap, the Kodak strap, as you can see over here. A micro USB cable, UK charger brick for the battery of the camera. That's all that's in this box, so of course, besides the camera. So as you can see, pretty self-explanatory. It's a full black body, plasticky, but well built in my opinion. So not that kind of Chinese plastic. It's pretty well built. It's not that light. It's pretty heavy, but that's good because the insides of this camera are pretty needed. They're needed to be pretty heavy because they'll have to be good if it has a 90 times zoom, optical zoom. So on the bottom compartment you have the battery, which is 1020 milliamp hours battery over here. Works pretty well, has good battery life. I've already tested some things with this and the battery life is okay. One thing, as you can see, the micro SD card has to go very deep. So the mount for a tripod over here, for example. And then on the sides you have the AV or micro SD out and the mini HDMI as well, so you can connect this to your television or anything else that has an HDMI. Then over here a speaker on the sides, the adjustable thing for the viewfinder on the top, as you can see, and the viewfinder adjusts a little bit, but I don't know, you probably can't see that well, but the viewfinder adjusts itself. Then on the top we have the switching from viewfinder to LCD over here. Again, Wi-Fi, so it's a stereo microphone inside, left and right over here, full HD. And then on these sides you have the zoom button, which is pretty well built in my opinion. Burst mode, changing some settings over here. Then you have camera, CS, automatic mode, personal, manual, Wi-Fi, scenic, and all those things you know from a regular DSLR or from other cameras. If you're a bit into the camera world, then you probably all know what these mean. And of course the LCD screen, which can be flipped, as you can see. It can be flipped like this or like this, but only to the bottom over here. But it can be flipped completely if you do it like this, so pretty nice. And then on the sides you have, of course, the lens. You have the zoom autofocus, the smart and the manual focus. So it's a Pixpro aspheric ED zoom lens, 90 times wide, 22 1980mm, equivalent is 13168. And yeah, this is the complete package. I'm going to turn this on and so you can see, of course, what it looks like when it's turned on. Alright, so I'm going to go through the settings of this camera so you can see that a little bit. So on the menu over here you can choose between the automatic mode. As you can see, automatic mode, you have program, AE, shutter priority, opening priority, manual mode as well, and then Wi-Fi mode, scene mode, and movie mode. So you have the burst mode over here. You can of course shoot one continuously, fast, very fast, and then a 30-second interval, and wide and stuff, all that stuff you probably already know. You can change the f-stop over here from 3 to 1 to 5.7. So let's put it on 5.7 for example. And then you have the different color schemes from the Kodak cameras, as you can see as well. So we have the vignette over here, which takes cool pictures. I'm going to You also have punk, which is pretty weird. Negative, reflection, rasters. I'm going to put it back on normal. So these are the different focus options. So you have central autofocus, multi-autofocus, spot focus, and then tracking an object as well. So you can track an object to put it on focus. So you have macro mode as well. You can put this on or off. And then the self timer, you have 2 seconds, 10 seconds, smile. So it takes your picture when you smile. Then you have the white balance, auto white balance. You can change it to daylight, auto bracketing and all that stuff. So very easy to change. So you can also change the display, as you can see. So right now I'm on 20 megapixels. I can change this, as you can see, to VGA 2 megapixels. Let's put it back on 20, of course. So the shooting format for filming is 1080 30 frames per second, 720 at 60, 720 at 30 as well. And then you have the lower resolutions, even to 120 frames per second, but that's not really interesting. Manual focus assist, autofocus, digital zoom. You can also use digital zoom, of course, but I'm going to put this out because already you have 90 times optical zoom. And then of course you have the function ring. So that's this one. You can change this to smart, which you can see over here, and then you can change the setting of the smart, what it does when you turn it. So normal, shutter priority, EV, ISO, continuous recording, white balance, shutter priority, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can change that, everything. But I personally think the coolest thing about this camera is the fact that you have the 90 times zoom, and I'm going to show you how good that really is and how good the quality of that zoom actually is right now. Alright, so by now you've probably already seen what this beast can do. It's really impressive. I have a regular lens, Sigma lens over there, some point and shoot cameras over there and over here. This is not an interchangeable lens, but this 90 times zoom lens is, woo! I was really impressed. I think the most impressive thing was the clip where the goat was all the way at the end of my garden, and I could just zoom in at 90 times zoom, and I could see the goat like I was standing next to it. So that really blows my mind. One thing I do have to say is that when you zoom in completely at 90 times optical zoom, you should use a tripod. At the first pictures I took from the horse, for example, I didn't use a tripod, and you could see that it's a little blurry because, of course, if you zoom 90 times and you move just a little bit, then your picture will be completely off. So even with the tripod, as you could also see in the clip, when I moved a little bit, or when I just moved the floor and my desk started a little bit shaking a little bit, then it was completely off. So you have to be completely still at 90 times zoom to get the perfect picture. I know my pictures weren't perfect, but it was just to show that all this is possible. I would suggest the 90 times zoom is great, but you get a bit of quality loss, in my opinion, of what I've seen. Of course, if you put it on completely manual, you can of course change that, but if you're a hobby photographer and not a professional shooter who knows everything about the manual modes, the 90 times zoom is great. It works perfectly, as you could see, but there's a little bit of quality loss, just a little bit. So maybe 80 times will be still sufficient, I think, but it works on 90 times, I'm sure about that, but yeah, that was just something I noticed. One thing I also did not really like is the autofocus. Another thing I also didn't really like was the autofocus when filming. I shot a video from up here, so I changed this camera with this one. You can see that right now, and that was a video about a pen, because the pen was pretty small and I can't zoom in enough with the camera I have right now with the Canon G7X, so I used this one. I could zoom in a lot, but the autofocus, oh my god, that's a weird word. The autofocus was off sometimes, it didn't focus every time, and that was a little bit annoying. So I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure how to put it on manual focus. I should look it up to know how to do it. I thought it was over here, but that doesn't really change anything. But I'm pretty sure it's possible to put it on manual focus, and that fixes that problem. But if you use autofocus, it does not work all the time. I could also see it when I was filming the goat, which was very far away at 90 times zoom. It had a little bit of trouble with autofocusing. But again, I'm nitpicking over here. At 90 times zoom, that's pretty obvious that it will have some troubles focusing, or that it won't be perfectly sharp. But still, for the price, this is a very cheap camera. I'm going to search for the price so I say it correctly. This camera only costs 400 pounds. Of course, 400 pounds is a lot of money, I know that. But it's a camera, so in the camera compartment, 400 pounds is not a lot of camera. 400 pounds is not a lot of money for a camera. Of course, it doesn't have an interchangeable lens, which also means that you're stuck with the thing you buy. My Nikon D3200, for example, I bought the kit lens. I changed it and I got better quality, I think. So you can do that with DSLR, but not with this one. This doesn't have an interchangeable lens, so you're stuck with this one. This is mainly for someone who likes to do some nature photographing, I think, or sports contests where you're in the stands and you want to take a picture from very far away, for example. And this is great, 90 times zoom. It works great. It's very sharp as well. Really impressed by this thing. The pictures taken with a tripod are way better than the pictures taken from hand, because if you zoom in 90 times, yeah, that's what happens when you zoom in and you shake a little bit. So, but overall, yeah, very good camera. The quality is great. This is for a specific audience, I think. I don't know if I would suggest it for filming. Maybe for an overhead camera, it can be great because you can zoom in a lot, as you could see. You have to take in consideration that you can only zoom in to a certain point. If I'm at a distance, I think of 2 meters or something, you can only zoom in to a certain point that the image is still sharp. So if I zoom in too much, the image will be blurry on my table. So that was a bit annoying as well when filming, but it's mainly for objects that are very far away that you can use this camera for. Yeah, but I say it again, this camera is very good for the specific audience who likes to shoot from very far away, from a distance, nature photography, or maybe animals who are a bit camera shy and you're in the bushes using your tripod and taking that beautiful picture of that animal, which would run away otherwise because you only have a 30 times zoom lens instead of 90 times. I don't know. So yeah, very nice, very cool. We definitely suggest it if you're looking for something like this. Alright, if you have any questions regarding this Pixpro AZ901, let them know in the comment section down below and I'll be very glad to answer them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you didn't, leave a dislike and tell us why so we can improve our videos. And I hope I'll see you, yes, you who's watching this behind your phone or behind your computer screen, I don't know, in our next video. Bye bye.